In a democracy, it is our collective civic duty as responsible citizens to examine public servants with a discerning and critical eye. I encourage all listening or watching, either live or later on tape or on the internet, to engage on this. Read the independent investigative report. Draw your own conclusions. The proposed censure resolution points out that the council has found Councilmember Brieno to have violated the rules of council conduct. Page 5 of our Code of Conduct Handbook reads, "No member of the City Council shall publicly criticize or censure any staff member of the city, and shall instead relay any criticism of a staff member privately through the city manager." The independent investigator reported multiple examples of Mr. Brieno bad-mouthing Ms. Mata to others beyond the city manager. This is very believable to me because he telephoned me more than once before I joined the council in December 2020, making similar complaints. In the Hanford Sentinel, he characterized the situation with Ms. Mata solely as a breakdown of communication and a misunderstanding. Let's take a look at this. One job of the Community Development Director is to uphold the building codes adopted by the City Council and apply them fairly, treating everybody the same. The independent investigator report referenced multiple instances where Ms. Mata and Mr. Brieno did not see eye to eye on Mr. Brieno's projects. Now, I know many people personally who have not been happy with some of the decisions Ms. Mata has rendered on their building projects, typically because they were hoping for relief from one regulation or another, which Ms. Mata declined to grant. I have never, let me emphasize, never heard anyone in town suggest that Ms. Mata's approach to decision-making on these matters had anything to do with the fact that she happened to be a woman. That is, until Mr. Brieno. I won't repeat his reasons why, as they are nonsensical and disgusting. Go to page 9 of the report, if you like, and read them for yourself. Ms. Mata's attorney has demanded to the city that Mr. Brieno resign, that the council receive more employee training, and that Ms. Mata be awarded $1.25 million due to Mr. Brieno's highly objectionable conduct that the proposed censure correctly asserts is unbecoming of a council member. Has Mr. Brieno shown sincere remorse? Has he attempted to right any wrongs? Has he apologized to the people of Hanford for his choices and his statements, those that required the city to engage an expensive independent investigator? For taking up so much of the city's time? For exposing the taxpayers of the city to a potential financial payout to Ms. Mata as compensation for how he has behaved toward her? To my knowledge, no. No, tragically, he has not. Instead, what has he done? Let's look at these page 1 headlines from the last 6 weeks of the print edition of the Hanford Sentinel, following Mr. Brieno's January 26 oral resignation. January 28th, Brieno says resignation stems from misunderstanding. February 6th, Brieno threatens suit against city. February 18th, Brieno rescinds resignation, reclaims city council seat. According to the Sentinel's February 18th edition, Mr. Brieno claimed to have negotiated an agreement with the council to resign because he, quote, did not want to see any further litigation against the city, unquote. On February 6th, the Sentinel reported that Mr. Brieno accused the city of having caused him to suffer damages. Guess what? Over the last number of weeks, his demands of the city have only increased. He asked for more and more in exchange for his resignation, repeatedly not taking the council's no as an answer. Come on. This is a complete dereliction of his duty to Hanford voters. The hubris he has displayed blows me away. On February 16th, Mr. Brieno addressed a group of supporters gathered as council members arrived for a 5:30 meeting. He was photographed by the Sentinel's Noe Garcia, wearing a lapel pin with the famous John F. Kennedy charge, "Ask not what your country can do for you." I find great irony in this picture. Of course, the second part of the famous quote is, "Ask what you can do for your country." Mr. Brieno, I have some suggestions. First, stop antagonizing the people who are doing their level best to run the city with common sense and common purpose. Second, resign your seat immediately, in writing. Put the taxpayers' interests above your own.
Please no, Captain.
3, put your wallet back in your pocket and stop trying to derive benefits for yourself when you yourself caused this tough situation for the city and its affiliates. 4, write a personal check to the city to help repay the tens of thousands of dollars of legal costs you have caused the city to spend distancing itself from your actions as an individual and in support of its employees. Mr. Brieno, earlier tonight, you asked forgiveness from any women for any perceived wrongs and said that was, I'm paraphrasing, but not your style. Your comment is a day late and $1 short. When you have had ample time to make these kinds of statements in public, your comments appear to be calculated to save face and avoid censure. What has the council done to date on this matter? John talked about some of it. The council initiated the censure process that we are all seeing in action tonight. The council has taken this proposed action to legally distance the city from the documented behavior of Mr. Brieno to make clear that Mr. Brieno was acting alone as an individual when he broke the council rules, not doing so on behalf of the council or any city entity. What more can the council do? I propose first, our rules of conduct state that members can be censured for, among other things, quote, failing to follow proper procedures, lying, disloyalty, and working against the organization, unquote. I call on the council tonight to begin work on a second resolution of censure against Mr. Brieno based on his conduct before and since the public release of the independent investigator's report. I think the council should consider directing the city attorney to research the legality of reducing the compensation of city council members under active censure to $1 per month. Third, should Mr. Brieno continue to behave in such an adversarial manner, isolate him from the four of us so that his further complaints do not continue to negatively affect the council's ability to do its job. In closing, I do not make these statements out of malice, but out of duty. Page 20 of the council handbook states that, quote, if one member engages in disruptive behavior, it is the responsibility of the city council to remind the disruptive member about their duties, unquote. I am just doing my job. The citizens of Hanford have a duty too, to hold their elected officials accountable. Should Mr. Brieno choose not to resign his position on the City Council, the good people of District E have the option to select a different representative in November 2022. Or, if they do not want to wait that long, to initiate recall proceedings. I fully support the censure as written